Hi, everyone. My name is Maria Hendricks,
Hi, I'm Jordan Wynn.
and this is our presentation on discovering the different learning modalities through learning centers, through visual, auditory, and kinesthetic learning. Um, we are currently in the Reading, Literacy, and Learning Master's program, getting our master's degree, and I currently teach pre-kindergarten.
And I currently teach first grade.
So this is the agenda of what we would be talking about for our professional development. We would discuss what the audience and implementation is. We would give an overview of the learning centers and the modalities. Then we would take a deep dive into the three different learning centers that teachers and anyone participating would have a chance to explore hands-on on their own. Then we would do the around the room center exploration, and then we would have a closing discussion. So our audience and implementation is our main target audience is elementary educators. Our plan for implementation is in the future, we want to use these ideas and research found in this project in our own classrooms. And we also want to use this presentation as a source of inspiration for other teachers to enhance their own classroom. One of the things we would start off with is by asking all the teachers and anyone who's in the room is how do they define learning centers? And also how do they use them in their classroom if they use them at all? We would allow the teachers to discuss with the people next to them, share their answers out loud so everyone is able to hear. So it's a really collaborative and engaging environment as soon as we start.
So, what are learning centers? So, we would have the teachers first discuss how they implement learning centers into their classroom, and then we would do a brief overview of what learning centers are. So, learning centers are areas around a classroom that students engage in hands on activities. They match closely to individual students' needs. They collaborate and they work with peers, and it also enhances knowledge with new skills. So, learning centers can benefit lower elementary students to help develop their literacy development by participating in different learning centers that adhere to different learning styles by incorporating different learning modalities. Learning centers can also be effective for English language learners. In the text by 50 Strategies for Teaching English Language Learners, they state, effective for helping ELs and other students expand on verbal interactions and or to engage in hands-on practice that enhances learning and language acquisition and development. So we have many different learning modalities, and as Maria stated, we are going to talk about three specific ones. So the first one is the visual learning modality, which is learning with visual aids. An example could be subsidizing cards or sentence strips. The next is kinesthetic learning modality, which is learning through hands-on activities. And that can be implemented through manipulatives with different word parts, and they can connect to form a new word. And the last one is auditory, which is learning through listening activities or listening to a story aloud. And so Lawrence finds that a multimodal approach requires educators to begin looking at literacy through a social semantics lens so students can explore all the ways in which they interact, experience, and negotiate meaning.
So why implement the modalities into your classroom? You can implement them through the learning centers. That is the main thing that we are trying to get on in this professional development. The learning centers we show in our slides are developed for students in kindergarten. They have been done in my own classroom. The pictures are from my own classroom, and they have inspired me to carry them out and teach other people about them. Our learning centers in my classroom are done every day, and they're changed out every week to maintain engagement and interest with my students. The great thing about learning centers is that they can be adapted and accommodated for any grade level. Similarly, they can also be accommodating to any modality. Ferenczi shows the importance of why we should implement modalities inside the classroom. They say that we allow students to make meaning within and across modes that are comfortable to them. We embrace multimodality. We invite students to interpret their worlds and the text within them in critical ways, and centering multimodality supports engagement, motivation, and authenticity.
So there are many benefits of implementation of these different modalities inside your classroom. And Taylor, in the article written by Taylor, there are specific benefits that highlight the importance of implementing these into your classroom. And they are listed on the slide, which are culturally responsive. Students can learn in different ways. They help enhance social skills and communication. They also enhance collaboration skills with peers. They increase in chances for deeper comprehension, and students can interact more with the skills when it is more hands-on than just reading through a text.
This is the first learning center that we would present to everyone in the professional development. This is the Writing Learning Center. Some benefits and skills at practice are students are able to practice with identifying and writing letters and numbers. They can collaborate with their peers, and it involves visual and kinesthetic learning modalities. So, looking over what's in this picture, in the top left are name cards with the first and last names of students. This is to help them practice writing their names, recognizing the letters that are in it, and becoming familiar with it. On the top right are subitizing cards for practicing writing and recognizing numbers in different formats. It also allows for chances to practice counting. In the bottom left, alphabet cards, there are alphabet cards that have upper and lowercase letters and an image of an animal that starts with that letter and the name of that animal spelled out. This allows students to look at uppercase and lowercase letters, and to correlate that with something that exists in the real world, like an animal, and then to take it further on how to spell that animal's name. On the bottom right are letter tracing cards. Students can use whiteboard markers to trace over these to practice how to write their letters, where to start and where to end. This is the Dramatic Play Learning Center. Some benefits and skills at practice are it allows students to assimilate to parts of the American culture, like jobs, food, clothing, and role playing. Some of the examples in this center are clothes like a veterinarian, a chef, a construction worker, a police officer, a doctor, different things like that. There's also different clothes that we wear in different seasons, like hats and mittens and different things like that. There's a kitchen with a bunch of different types of food. There's babies to take care of and puppets and plants to grow. On the back wall, you can see there are a bunch of different images and with the name of the food that students can take off because they're Velcro and onto the table that you can't really see that's in the corner of the left photo. They can take this photo and attach it to their My Plate of which food group it belongs to, like meat, dairy, that kind of thing. This learning center is one of the favorites of my students. It's a great opportunity for them to practice their oral language skills and working with others, and also using their imagination. It incorporates their kinesthetic learning modality. Yeah. This is the last center we would talk about. This is a technology learning center. Some of the benefits and skills at practice are it includes educational games that help students practice letters, numbers, rhyming, tracing, coloring, and matching. This involves their visual and kinesthetic learning modalities. So every student in their own group has a chance for about 15 minutes a day to go on the iPad and play any of the games that are on there. They really keep them engaged and they find it as something fun and not as a learning experience to practice their letters and their shapes and to hear different sounds.
So this is where everyone will get a chance to get up and move around the classroom to immerse themselves into the different learning centers that highlight the different learning modalities of visual, kinesthetic, and auditory. There will be some key takeaways that we will ask them to think about when they are at each learning center that we will discuss at the end of the professional development. So some of the takeaways are: what learning modality does this learning center adhere to? How can this be implemented into a classroom? What are the benefits of students participating in this learning center? And what changes these activities would you make to ensure they are impactful to your classroom and students? So the first is the visual center exploration. So as everyone is exploring, they're going to come across a lot of different visual centers that can be implemented into their classroom. The top left picture shows students visually using magnetic blocks to create or build something new. This can be implemented in a simple station where students work together with peers to build something. This can support fine motor skills that students can develop in the station. The bottom left photo shows subsidizing cards, which can be used in many different ways. The specific examples are shown for math, where they used different ways to show a number. The examples show tally marks, 10 frames, dice, and place value blocks. This can help students visually see numbers being represented in different ways. On the right side of the slide, these two pictures show a way to implement visual aids into literacy learning. In these examples, students are using sentence strips to match sight words in the poem. They are able to visually see the poem in a new way and match those sight words together to show comprehension of those words. Once people get to the kinesthetic center, they will see different ways to incorporate kinesthetic or hands-on learning into their classroom. In the top 3 photos, it shows different kinesthetic activities that can be completed. Through these activities, students can write basic CVC or sight words in different substances. A popular substance is sand, where students can write letters in the sand and practice proper letter formation. Another popular substance is the use of shaving cream for students to use to create words or letters. The bottom left photo shows how dramatic play can be a way to incorporate kinesthetic learning. Through dramatic play, students can dress up as different jobs and can practice speaking skills. The bottom right photo is one of my personal favorites, where with the use of Unifix blocks, students can develop words. On the different blocks, there can be different letters or word parts where students can connect them to develop sight words. An important note on this activity is having one designated color for vowels, which can help students visualize the differences between vowels and consonants. When at the auditory center exploration, there will be many different activities that everyone can go through to decide if they want to implement this into their classroom. The first picture shows how one way to implement auditory learning modality is by having a group of students read to each other because they can hear the story being read to them, and it develops social skills as well with the use of other peers. The middle photo shows phonics phones that students can use while they are reading a text or a story. Students can use this to hear better what they are reading. This can also be used when reading sight words or basic CVC words. Students can focus on the different sounds that they use in the word that they are reading. The right photo shows students listening to a story or a text being read to them. This can help students focus on the comprehension of what they are reading and also can help them hear proper fluency and prosody in the text. All of these things can benefit students to build on their reading and literacy knowledge. Auditory learning centers can be implemented through technology on applications on the device. Utzler said, "The findings suggest that educational technology generally produce a positive, though small, effect in comparison with traditional methods."
After all of the educators and everyone involved in our professional development went through the learning centers, we would then come back together for a group closing discussion. We would talk about and ask them what are some ways that they found what they found important from a learning center. Some things that we think that teachers might respond with is that they find they're engaging and interactive, and they're also student centered. Like they can decide what they want to work with and how they want to work with the materials. We would also ask, do you feel that you will implement some of these activities in your classroom? Why or why not? Do they have any feedback for us on how we can improve this professional development and find activities that are mentioned and the activities that are mentioned? We think that this question would be a really good opportunities to share things that they may already have and use in their classroom that we did not include in our professional development. And teachers and educators and everyone sharing this during this time allows for everyone else to also gain ideas. And we would also ask for final thoughts, and any other questions that they may have. And these are our references. We hope you enjoyed our professional development.